everyone, I'm Kristy, and today in this video we are going to learn how to shoulder mount. Shoulder mount is one of my favorite moves and I love teaching it as well, so I'm going to share with you some of the tips and tricks that have been really successful for me when teaching this trick over the years. And we're also going to do some strengthening exercises that can build you up to being able to do it. So I think that there's different levels of being able to do a shoulder mount. Obviously, if you can invert and get your legs onto the pole, that's probably that's good, but there's definitely a difference between that and being able to do it with control and different variations and that sort of thing. So we're going to go through some of the really nitty-gritty details that really help to make this trick look amazing. So the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that your shoulders are nice and warm. Now I'm going to go through a short warm-up here. This video is not going to be a super fast one. I'm going to make sure that I cover all of the points that I want to cover, but I will do a little bit of a sped up warm up. So I'm going to start with rolling the arms back and then forward. So I have already warmed up my shoulders, but we're just going to go through these ones again to show. And then I'll go across, alternating the arms, keeping the shoulders down as I do this. Then I'm going to come to the pole, circle the arm back, and then forward, and then on the other side, and forward. Now one of my favorite shoulder warm-up exercises, and I can't believe I actually forgot to pop it in the twisted grip video that I uploaded the other day, but it's to stand sideways to the pole, holding on like this, so just a regular grip, and then rotating the shoulder forward and back, just like that. You do about 10 of those, and then you're going to change the hand position to have all of the fingers onto the front of the pole, and do it that way. Then you're going to leave the shoulder forward and just gently twist your body away, and this is a really nice stretch here in the front. And then we'll do it on the other side. So we'll go forward and back, and then I'm going to change the hand position so that all of the fingers are on the front, and then keep it forward and gently twist away. Okay, from there, warming up the elbows, warming up the wrists. And definitely for the shoulder mount, because we've got a lot going on up here in the traps, you want to make sure that you're actually stretching out your neck as well, because this can feel really bunchy afterwards. So that. Okay, so the last one that I want to do, and I did put this in the other video as well, but is my favorite. In the plank position here, we're just going to lower the shoulders down and push away. Really nice to warm up the shoulders. Trying to keep the arms straight, so you don't bend the arms, you just keep them straight, and you're just sinking in and back using the shoulders only. Okay. So one of the things that I really like about the shoulder mount is that you can essentially practice it from the ground, like laying on the ground, and then as you feel more comfortable, you can stand up and do it from standing. I know there are different schools of thought on whether or not to swing into tricks. I'm not a fan of just using like crazy momentum to swing into a trick, but if it's a controlled, assisted momentum, then I think it's okay. So the difference being that you're just kind of chucking it up there as opposed to just getting a little bit of a swing or a momentum rather than deadlifting it, which can also cause injury on the other side of the scale. So we are going to start laying down. Now, if you've never done a shoulder mount before, I recommend trying it on both sides. Eventually, you want to train your shoulder mounts on both sides anyway. And I know that if you have an instructor in a class, they probably tell you that already. And I was more so self-taught at the beginning, and I didn't really understand why why we should be doing it on both sides. And back when I started pole and was doing some classes, things like fongies weren't even around. Then as I progressed and I did get to trying a fongie, I realized that I needed to be able to do my left shoulder, which was not my preferred side, to end up on my preferred flag, which was really annoying, but that forced me to train both sides. So my right is actually preferred, but my left is just as good because I needed it for the fongie trick. So don't ignore when people tell you to train both sides. But when you're first learning a trick, definitely choose your preferred side to get the hang of it, to get the understanding of it. So I am going to show you on my right, on the right shoulder, and you can obviously choose whichever way you want to go. So we're going to lay down and put our shoulder not quite on the pole, maybe about an inch from the pole. And then we're going to bring our hands on. So one of the most important things to remember is what's actually happening here, like what are the physics of the trick. And for us, there is a triangle position happening here with the arms. So the shoulder is going in here and then the hands going on this way. So you can see that my arm creates like a right angle. That triangle means that I have an equal pull and an equal push. I need the push into the shoulder because that's what keeps me on the pole. So if I have my hands too high, you can see that the pressure is going more so downwards rather than straight out, straight in where it needs to be. It's going down like that way. We want it to be nice and even so that it's the strongest possible point, the strongest possible grip. So, whichever side of the pole your head is on, that's going to be the hand that is higher because you want your head in the big gap. If you have your head in the small gap, you're going to hit it. So I'll just show you front on. If I'm shoulder mounting on my right shoulder, I'm going to have my left hand above and then the arms will come forward like that. So yeah, so you want your head in the big gap. So I'm going to lay down, put my hands on as we just spoke about, and make sure that my head is inside the big gap. Then I'm going to bend my legs up, frog them out to the side, and bring them out to a straddle. So the idea of being able to do it on the ground is that it's a much easier version that you can hold and sort of figure out what's it going to feel like when I'm looking up at the ceiling, what's it going to feel like when I'm upside down. It's just a nice way to kind of introduce your body to the move rather than jumping straight into it. So definitely do a few of those. I'll show you once more. From here, bending the legs up, frog them out, lift, and then out to the straddle. Now you'll notice I don't bring my hips all the way up. The reason is, and a lot of people make this mistake when they try the move for the first time, if you bring your hips all the way up to the pole, where is the weight going? Straight down. We don't want that. We want the hips out here for the same reason that we want the arms in place as a triangle. We want a pull and a push. So by the hips being out here, we have more pressure into the shoulder, which keeps us in place. So another thing that I see sometimes is when people try to do the move, their weight is coming away from the pole and losing that point of contact with the shoulder. The point of contact with the shoulder is what keeps you on the pole. So I know it hurts in the beginning, but as your traps get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, you will be able to hold it. So when you start, I like to come away from the base just a little bit to bring your body down. So we don't want to be starting up here just yet. Later, when you have the strength, you can do whatever you like. So at the beginning, we come down just a little bit. So I'm here, and then I'm going to put my hands on. Remember, my head is in the big gap, and from here, I'm just going to use, I'm using my right leg, it feels more natural to me, but it doesn't particularly matter which leg you do, but you're just going to get a little bit of a swing and press your shoulder into the pole. Now the purpose of doing that is not to try to see if you can go upside down just yet. The purpose of doing that is to feel the pressure through the shoulder, to feel that your arms are activated and that everything feels okay. So we don't want to be surprised. We don't want to have surprises and just go, look, hopefully it works, and then it doesn't work. You want to do it one little step at a time. So step one is going to be to put the hands on and make sure we are positioned where we want to be. So from here, step two is just going to be to get a little swing, and you can see that I'm pressing, I'm almost pulling my shoulder into the pole. Now, you might adjust around a little bit, which is fine. It does take a while to kind of get the sweet spot, and you definitely don't want to have any material covering your shoulder. Later, as you get more advanced, you might have seen performances where people will have a shirt on or something like that. As you get better at this trick, it does become easier to do it with full clothes on. But at the beginning, you need your skin to grip the same way that you did when you learned how to climb. So, once again, step one, we're in place. Step two, we give it a little bit of a feeling good there. You can see that my arms are nicely placed with that right angle. From there, we're going to tuck both legs up into the frog position. They don't have to go out to a straddle just yet, and we definitely don't want to bring our hips right up to the pole. So step one, step two, step three, step three. Once we feel comfortable with that, we can straddle the legs out. So that'll be step four, and you still notice that I don't bring my hips right up into the pole, because if I do that, straight down, until you get the strength. I do notice sometimes when people try this for the first time, they're just trying to get their legs straight onto the pole. Now, you can do it that way, but I think by going through a straddle first, you're forcing your body and your muscles to rise to the challenge before you start going further. When you do it just putting the legs straight on, it's more of like just momentum, and you're trying to grab the legs on rather than straddling out, feeling the control, and then pushing them up and onto the pole when you're ready. So from here, step one, step two, step three, step four is out, right? From here, every time you do it, you're going to lower back down, because it's a chance to train the muscles that are going to be deadlifting you up later. So from the straddle, once you've got that, step five would then be to take the legs up and onto the pole. Okay, so step one, step two, step three, step four. Now, as I bring them up and on, I'm going to push them up towards the roof and grab the legs around the pole. Don't do it in pants if you still need your legs to grip. As I said, when you get stronger, you don't need as much skin grip, which makes tricks possible with clothes on. So I thought I'd just disclaimer that before you go trying to do it. Cool, so another nice little way you can transition from the swing to start to use your muscles a little bit more is from standing upright. Instead of swinging like this, you take the leg out, you tap it on the ground, and then that creates a reaction that you're going to kick the leg over with. So it goes back, forward, tap, and up, which looks really nice, but you're actually using it for momentum. So back, forward, tap, and up. Now, when we do inverts, 2 bent legs is the easiest, 1 bent, 1 straight is next easiest, 2 straight legs is the hardest. So as soon as you feel ready to give it a go with 2 straight legs, start trying to do that, because if you train a trick with 2 straight legs, you will always have the option to go back to bent legs. If you train it with bent legs, you won't have the option to go to straight. So just some other variations. We go from standing, 2 straight legs, 1 bent, 1 straight. Yeah, I'll show it to you that way. So from here, straight, and the other one's bending out. Yeah. Mostly, what I see people do is just try to bring the hips too close to the pole when there's not enough pressure through the shoulder. So go through the steps, make sure that you're feeling the pressure and go bit by bit, and yeah, have fun. So this video, like I said at the beginning, is part of a Nemesis series that I'm filming in 2020. So if you have any suggestions of tricks that you would like me to cover, just pop it in the comments and I will do it. See you later.